Caveat, I did end up hate making out with one of these Republicans.
Oh my God, me. All right, welcome back to another episode of Minimum Rage.
Hey.
With Megan Malone. Here to discuss her rageful work history with us.
First off, how do we know Megan?
Oh. I mean, just through stand-up comedy.
Through comedy, yes. I'd never encountered you beforehand. But honestly, had we not met doing comedy, I would have found myself in Tiny House some way.
Yeah.
That place is too neat.
Yeah, I think that we would have... I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe we would have met, but we're 20 years apart, so like maybe not.
Maybe not. I think you would have probably kicked me out of your bar.
Maybe.
Would have been a rascal.
She's still in her Red Bull era. Girl, she's still in her Red Bull era.
I didn't have enough time to stop for one today before I came here. I need one, though.
I feel that.
Okay, it's 11. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was still 8 o'clock for some reason.
That's what it feels like, Grace. It feels like 8 o'clock.
Well, for a comedian, it's probably equivalent, right?
Yeah. What time did you get home last night?
I got home at like 11, and then I started watching this really good, like, it's about a lesbian fight club. It was really funny.
Wow.
Have
Please.
you seen it? It's called Bottoms.
No, but I know what you're talking about, though. I've seen like funny memes about it.
Yeah, so I watched that until like 1 a.m. It was pretty funny. I recommend.
I want to watch that.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to bed around 1, but I will say I've achieved one work goal, which is that 9 times out of 10, I do not have to set an alarm to wake up, which was a goal
so
for me
nice.
as a youth.
That is a work
Because
goal.
I've never been a morning person. My dad is a night owl. My mom is a night owl. And I just, like the torture of having to set your alarm at 6 or 6:30. I feel like you're a natural morning person. So
You think? No.
or like maybe it was beat into you by your military dad.
I think it was. I think I've like the way my life has gone. I'm great. I don't have to be unless it's like there's something going on. But there was a while over the summer when I was working as a barista, and I've never. Those were hard mornings.
Well, especially when you're working nights too. There's just no way to recover.
And I will never put myself through that again.
But it is a particularly excruciating format for work for the majority of people. That just like wake up, odd hour, commute, get to work, don't come back until dark, also in rush hour. Like, what have we done to ourselves?
It's miserable. Have you ever had to work a job where you had to be up early?
I have, but I have to tell you, like, I consciously chose not those jobs. So like social work jobs or social work, you can generally get away with starting around 10.
That is nice.
Yeah. But I've actively chosen schedules that I can't remember the last time I had to dead ass wake up at 7 a.m. for anything but like a flight.
Yeah. And that I feel like will get you out of bed.
Yeah,
Because
because that's
it's exciting. Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. And do you get anxiety when it comes to flights? Like, do you have to be there 3 hours early?
No.
Not anxiety about like the timeliness of a flight, but like just being on an airplane.
It's a bad experience. And they're making it worse every year. I feel like it's more like cattle every year. I pay for like the upgrade. Like I try to finagle like, a little extra legroom, but it feels like fake news. It does not feel like extra legroom when you actually get there. But I'm like, my thing is I'll be like, it takes exactly 40 minutes to get through the Omaha airport. Like my flight's at 6. Yeah. I'm going to get there at 5:20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's brave.
That is brave. But also, I guess when you do see the Omaha airport, you're like, I can do this.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
No, my thing is security. That scares me so much. And I don't fly a lot, so I'm not used to the procedure. But just like, do I wear my jewelry? Do I have to take my laptop out? I get so scared.
It's a lot. Also, full disclosure, I was drunk the last time I flew.
Where were you coming from?
Well, Amy Miller was in town opening for Joe Dombrowski, and then Cameron was their host, and we did that show, and she was like, oh, perfect, you're be done, like, come hang out with us. And so then we went to a haunted house, then we went to Tiny House, and then we stayed until like 4 a.m, and my flight was at like 6 a.m.
Wow.
But when I went through security, they were like, take off your shoes, take off your coat, and I was like, I felt like this part was over. Isn't this part over? Like, and truly, like when I left, I flew out of Baltimore, I didn't have to take my shoe. It's just like all the hokey pokey. You don't know. Like they're totally
different.
making it up. I don't feel more secure.
Yeah.
No.
The Denver airport is the best because you don't have to take anything out.
Really?
Or anything off. You just go. It's so fast.
Wow. That's not what I expected from the Denver airport. The Denver airport gives me the most anxiety just because of how big it is. And no matter how much I like look at the signs, I don't know where I'm at.
You're like, do I accidentally still have weed?
No, really.
Which I don't think they would be very cool about it. They'd be like, we're looking for bombs, not weed.
When I was it was a flight from Omaha, it was a direct to Las Vegas, and I was having anxiety and there was really bad turbulence, and the guy like reaches in his backpack and he pulls out an edible and he just gives it to me. And I was like, I'm about to see my mother, who I haven't seen for years. I'm not taking this right now.
And that's why I feel like as a kid, you feel like traveling for work is so romantic and this and that. And then when you meet these airplane commuters, it just seems absolutely hellish.
Miserable.
But they do seem like they kind of have glossed the routine a bit. And I always do try to steal a little bit of their tips.
Yeah. You're like, spill. How are you managing this?
Yeah. They have like an eye mask. They have earplugs. They have a face mister. They're like rehydrating, dehydrating, rehydrating the whole time.
Wait, have either of you ever flown first class?
I have.
I have not either.
Hurrdat, please pay for our first class.
Yeah, right.
But only as like when it's like it's a scam. I mean, it's all a scam. So it's like you can get there and they're like, it's $20 if you want to be first class, and then I'll be like every time.
Yeah.
But only if I'm like. But I think I've done it like two times, 3 times. Like nothing that would
fancy.
be.
Okay.
I'd like to do
I'm not
it.
missing out.
I would be as obnoxious. I would be so obnoxious
Would
about
you get
it.
like champagne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the experience. This will never happen again. Probably. You know what? Not with that attitude, actually. Maybe it could. But
Yeah, well, when I showed up to the airport drunk, I had thought that I had upgraded on my way back from Baltimore, but I had upgraded on the way too. So I was just like, fucking past Megan. You really took care of future Megan right now.
yeah. That's great. That's funny. Oh my gosh. I do the idea of work paying for a flight does sound great to me though.
Yeah. I mean,
It does.
I had a chance to go to California a couple months ago, but stupid me said no.
Why?
It was to be a photographer for volleyball that was going on in Anaheim, and I'd have to go by myself, and I was I'm not ready.
That is
for
kind of
that.
intense.
But I passed up California.
That would have been cool. I know. Because on the off time, you could have bebopped around
Because
town.
you were you
think?
more nervous about the flight or about being alone?
About being alone in the job that I had to do. So I was like,
Yeah.
I've never done this by myself.
Yeah.
What if something goes wrong? What if I fuck it up?
But I am definitely the type who've been. I will always say yes. I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, last minute chaos, do it. Throw it on my plate.
This was one random job that I had. So a friend of mine was creating. So if you're making a political ad, you have to attach it to some kind of content in certain parts of the country. So that was his job. Is he would make like travel shows, and then at the end it'd be like, vote for this guy. So he was like, hey, can you come to Norfolk this weekend? And I thought he was talking about Norfolk, Nebraska. And then I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. Let me check my work schedule. And then he was like, Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh.
And I went from there to Kitty Hawk Island, and then went on a deep sea fishing trip that I was like hosting this, like how to travel around Kitty Hawk Island. And they had rented like this. So I got there, I left Nebraska. I got there at like 4 a.m., drove to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, did my makeup and got on a boat.
That's so random.
And she is not seafaring. Like, I don't know. Like, I just have like a reckless lack of self-preservation. I don't know. So and my friend had arranged it, I think, like I don't know. I describe myself as like pretty progressive liberal, and he had paired me with the head for digital media for the Republican Party and this other loser who was like really high up in the Republican Party because they were young. And I'm saying there's just something so repulsive about young Republicans. Like old Republicans are kind of like, I mean,
it's like ingrained in them. It's like you're young, you're malleable, you have a choice.
You're young.
Yeah.
You're a young Republican.
Yeah.
And so I think they thought that like we would beef. But I did Ralph on camera. When they like the super cut of it, there's definitely, but then I was talking shit about this one Republican guy. I was like, I throw up, pass out. First of all, I reeled in a fish, biggest fish I've ever seen in my life. And I'm telling you, like, I felt like I had never seen a fish when this thing came into the boat. Like, they strap you in and you gotta, like, do this thing. Like, it came over the cliff or the boat. It was 60 pounds. A 60-pound mahi-mahi. Like,
you caught that?
Yeah. It was bananas. I caught a mahi-mahi and a tuna. Like, it was, I have a picture of me. I'll send it to you. It's bananas. And then I took a nap. Ate a donut and took a nap. It was like, she's wrapped for the day. And I wake up and the camera's in my face and I'm like, Megan. Which is how my friend, Megan, when are you going to catch another fish? And I looked at this guy who was struggle nation. He was trying to reel in this fish and he was sweating bullets. And I was like, well, how about when he fails, I'll just finish reeling in his fish. And it was like, she's a seer, because within moments, like, he bails out of the sea and I just jumped up, sat down and reeled in the fish. And the way that the camera's going, the skies darkened, it looked like I was a real hero in that moment.
I want to see this footage so bad. Wow.
It was pretty
That's
funny.
a story, Megan. I like that.
Well, now maybe you found your next calling.
Yeah.
Or retirement thing.
Deep sea fishing?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was a really cool
60
area
pounds.
down there.
But
It
only
was
On like a
crazy.
regular fishing pole?
No, they have
Okay.
all sorts of, like, I mean,
Okay.
it's like kind of like bolted into your seats, bolted in there. You have to strap in. They have
Yeah.
like they have props for it, because I mean, it was work. It was kind of one of those things where you get done and you're like, this should be for men.
Yeah.
I can do it, but why?
Why would I want to do that? And then I love, but only if camera crew is following you around.
Yeah, that did make it more fun.
Yeah. It reminds me of, what was that show? It was, Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh. It was just a camera, these men just getting tossed in the sea.
Just fishing?
Yeah. There would be like crazy storms and just bad weather. That was,
Well,
Caveat, I did end up hate making out with one of these Republicans.
oh my God, me.
And it was, as you can suspect, I'll just save you, the trouble, but like the worst kiss I've ever had in my life. Like, to where we were drinking and cuddling in bed, making out, and I was like, I have to stop. Like, can't remember the last time that I had to be like, this is actually repulsive. And he was a totally nice guy, and we're still friends on Instagram. And like, occasionally I'll see pictures of him and his wife, and I'm just like,
ooh, that
she's
poor
really
lady.
dealing with that hard hockey puck lizard tongue all the time. Like, that's why Republicans are so miserable.
do you remember what your first job?
Okay, I do. Because I think it cracks me up, because I essentially stuck with these two jobs that I started when I was 14. I got two jobs. One was as a waitress or a hostess in my dad's restaurant. And then the other job was in a dual diagnosis classroom for disabled kids at Monroe Meyer, which is a really well-respected institute for disabled children in Nebraska and special needs kids and adults. Okay. So I get like dropped off here, like, because I can't drive yet. And I had no idea what I was in for. My brother has Down syndrome, which is just like sort of special needs light, and in the grand scheme of things. And so this was a dual diagnosis. So they had intense physical and mental handicaps. And when I got into the room, they it's so intense that you have like two people, like one caretaker for every two people. But I walk in and they're like, great, you're here. Put your coat up. This is your client for the summer. And she was a girl who, they were like, you just need to time her seizures. That's your job for today.
Wow.
And
how old were you?
14.
Wow.
And I was like, I feel like this is like a day 2 job.
No training, right?
No. And they're just like, I was like, should we stop that?
Yeah, like,
and they're like,
do I
no,
do?
like, we're just kind of we're just we're just recording them essentially. Like, this is something that happens. And I was like, well, like, how long is too long?
Yeah.
And they're like, they can be anywhere from 2 to 14 minutes.
Wow. That's
And what do
crazy.
you do? You just
stare?
sit with the
Yeah, you're just like,
stopwatch?
It's like, wow.
Were you the only one with her?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it must have been like a established condition that they weren't like, but still I was just like, really taking all comers.
Yeah, that's a wild first job. I'd be scared.
I didn't drive myself here. You want me to time someone's seizures?
I don't have a choice to do anything else.
So like in between that time, did you bond with her, like hang out?
I did not actually, because she was just not verbal, really not able to communicate. I did bond with some of the other children. There was these two twins who I actually still see around, that they had muscular dystrophy so bad. They like, one was in a red wheelchair and one was in a blue wheelchair, and they use like these speech buttons. And so they would like take their little arms, and it would take them like so long to get to an answer. But every time they got there, it would be right. Like they understood like what you were saying, and they were just like prisoners in these little bodies. So one of my jobs, I was thinking like through this strange. So I was like a bilingual paralegal, which I think was the most syllables I've had in a job, except when I was, and I was assistant for a quadriplegic trial attorney.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like a whole stress. Yeah, there was a whole stretch.
We need a definition.
Like, a weird ass. And then I was a driver for an antique dealer for a long time, for like over a year. That was a very cool job.
That is cool. How do you get into that?
You just have to. So that one in particular, I was at a coffee shop and I saw a sign that said "Treasure Hunter Wanted. Must be willing to travel. Pay $75 a day." Which honestly, I would probably take that job today.
Yeah, that sounds,
Treasure hunter.
And so like I ripped off the thing and I went, and it was one of the most beautiful antique stores that I've ever been into. And David Shaw owned it. And he was like, yeah, I have to go and buy antiques. My goal is to spend $10,000 a day. And part of your job is to help me pack the van, because like once I've assembled all this merchandise, like it's vital that it gets packed correctly, which is like a whole skill in itself. And then you must have a handle of the cheapest scotch and a glass of ice ready. And then I will start drinking as soon as I'm done shopping. And you have to pack the van. I will drink and instruct. And then I will drink until around dinner time. And you have to remain sober enough to drive me to dinner. And I will eat my single meal of the day and go to sleep, and we'll do the whole thing all over again.
wow.
What a boss.
That is like, that's really, I would watch that as a series.
Yeah.
That's like a TV show.
Yes.
Wow.
And we became very good friends, and we traveled together. I did it for less than other people did it, because it was like after a while, like then he would just smoke American spirits and drink coffee until it was time to start drinking scotch, and then drink scotch until it was time for the one meal of the day. And like we would have a great time, but eventually like the lifestyle just wore out on you. But I mean, we'd share a hotel room, and this man was like 30, 40 years older than me, but he was the most polite, like coolest dude I've ever met. Never made me feel uncomfortable, which I think is like very rare in this world. And then also, if I wanted to learn anything about antiques, I could go in with him and he would teach. So I know a random amount of things about different like types of like Chinese pottery or like Roman coins, or like,
I feel like that suits you though, like considering like your styling and how you, I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's so interesting. I would love to do furniture antiques, because I love like interior design and that stuff.
I did buy little things, but I was broke. I mean, when we were doing this, so like things that I would collect, like I bought some really cool vintage lamps, like when I could afford it. And then I like would buy, like there's so much stuff that you can actually collect that it's overwhelming. But I started collecting like little pill bottles, and then little old type tins that typewriter ribbon used to come in, and they'd have these like incredible Art Deco designs. Like they were just very cool. Yeah. And his apartment that he had, and the whole time he lived in Omaha, he knocked out the walls between 4 apartments and had the whole side of a building, and each room was decorated in a different era.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's like the most incredible. Cool. And it was like floor to ceiling oil paintings, you know, like sculptures. Like he'd have a side table, but in the side table would be a collection of pill boxes. There was vases, there was lamps, there was airplanes, there was, and you're just realize how much you can collect. But I would say it definitely like informed my sense of style. And then like when it was time to do the interior design for Tiny House, which I'd never been paid to do, but like I always instinctually am like bored with traditional interior design because it's like, okay, our colors are blue and yellow and orange, and we're going to have all our accent colors yellow. It's just very predictable, and my eye gets bored very quickly. And so like being around someone who could mix a whole bunch of patterns and styles into like what I think they're calling it like maximalist earthiness now, you know, but just being able to be like, the carpet doesn't have to necessarily match the drapes, which doesn't have to match this. And it's like, if you can like kind of pull a whole bunch of different styles, almost anything could go together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me. Which Tiny House is, one of my I'm excited to see what you guys do with the expansion.
I know.
And how, and what the,
yes. So, hopefully everything continues to come together. No, but it'll be the second time I'm going to be able to do interior design, and it's also going to be a small space. So there's like challenges with that, and it's going to be a wine bar, but I don't want it to be your typical like wine bar is like bad vibe. I don't know. It just, you go in there and it's like, why is this decorated like
just like
a
wood.
hotel lobby?
Yeah,
you know, it's like I feel like it's a lot of purple and gold all the time.
Dark.
Yes.
So I want it to be like feminine but cool, but not like pretentious, where you can like feels accessible. And
oh, I love that. I'm so excited. Do you have like, I don't know if you can talk about it, but do you have like inspiration for what that's going to be like?
Yeah, I've you know, it just kind of, I started pulling. This was a process that gave me so much anxiety with Tiny House, because I, again, was not a professional designer. So I would like make mood boards. I downloaded this app that like would let you pull together mood boards like kind of in a little more professional manner. And I just started doing that for the new place. So we have really low ceilings in there. So I'm trying to figure out what to do on the ceiling. But I've been looking at a lot of hand painted wallpaper. I know everybody's kind of big into the 70s, but I've been into this. My grandparents, like, my grandfather was paralyzed in a plane crash. And so like from that moment on, they never renovated their house. And so their house was truly how it was from like 1960 until they passed away.
That's awesome.
And so like I grew up around all these like globe lamps and like carpet up to the wall, like up to the wainscoting. And like he hand painted murals all throughout their house, which is like now stuff that you see in like very wealthy people's homes. But it was just kind of this home decor aesthetic that I want to pass on. I mean, we're even thinking, my friend Ryan, we haven't come up with a name yet, but we've been like tossing around all our grandparents' names, trying to find a cool homage.
That's sick. I'm very excited to see what you do.
Yeah, me too.
That's a knack. I feel like you could have a whole career just on your interior design.
I would love that. Would you
consider that?
Yeah. Oh, I would love it.
Like but a side job.
Like, I feel like it's one of those jobs that you see in like romance novels or movies. It's like hard to get because and everyone also thinks they can do it because you like have to design your own home and your office and stuff like that. And women in particular will be like, I have a Pinterest board. I can do interior design, you know, and there is certain people that have a knack for it. And I didn't know which one I was. And then when I did Tiny House, I was like, I think I could actually do this.
No, for real.
And then also there's a lot of rich people with bad taste.
Yes. And they just buy something because it's like worth a lot, but then it's like it doesn't,
or it's just trendy.
Yeah,
that you know that's gonna go out of style.
Like I mean, no shade to my family. My family, the way they decorate, it's all farmhouse, which is like it's fine. But I knew when I was going into my apartment, they were wanting to help me like buy furniture and decorate, like, and I was like, I think I'm gonna need all hands. I was like, I don't know if I don't want a farmhouse apartment in a synagogue, but it
would be such a sick job. I hope that develops. Let's put that out into the air. Or if that was my job, that would be amazing.
Either interior design or I would pay you to fix my clothing situation. Just like, what do you call it? A stylist?
Yeah.
You could also be a stylist.
Thank you. But because I do have, so I did that for a while.
Yeah.
And I also like helped, this is so weird. It's like start some of the precursor things to Omaha Fashion Weeks. Like I've sewn and presented like whole collections. And then I was like, there's so many clothes. You could really just style people. But it would be cool if you could figure out a way to do these services that weren't like exorbitantly expensive. You know what I mean? If like helping your friend like pull together some interior design or pull together like a set of looks wasn't like, okay, well, it's going to cost you $20,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like, but I do have in my phone, I'll have like your shoe size, your dress size, like it's an illness. And I'll be at the thrift store and be like, you should maybe think about, do you want me to buy this?
No, I would love that. I never buy new clothes.
Yeah.
And I still wear clothes from middle school.
You do?
Because I have not grown. But also, like, I hate shopping for clothes.
Yeah.
And I grew up on hand-me-downs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my go-to. But if I had a stylist or a friend who was willing to help me find a new wardrobe, I would definitely take that.
See, and I would just do that. I would do that. So, I mean, they say that you should find jobs that you would just do for free because it would give me so much joy. I feel like there's so many cool styles. Like, I don't hate farmhouse. I don't hate, like, when I see people who are super, if someone who's super preppy came to me and they're like, make this refined, I'd be like, yes, I'd be into it.
Yes.
So, Grace, just pull together some, like, inspo images where you're like, if I could look like this every day, this is how I'd look. And I love shopping at the thrift store. There was a while in Atlanta that I wanted to start a service that I jokingly called Maggie's Box, where I would just like get your info and then pull together like a box of shit for you and then you'd pay me.
That's sick. Cool. Yeah, that is sick. There was sorry, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say there was like one time where Megan sent me like a bunch of stuff, like links to tops online, and like just all stuff I would wear, and she was like, maybe consider this could be a good look, and I was like, yeah. Never followed through, but I will eventually.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I have pieces, but I don't know how to put it together, so I'll have to Google like what to wear with black cardigan.
Yeah,
and I don't know how to do it.
But you like you might be able to pull from interior design though, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely not educated in it. I just like the idea of staging a house or something.
So do you find yourself looking at like interior rooms and stuff like that?
Definitely, yeah, or architecture. Instagram pages.
Love it.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
So you should look honestly at like what images for interiors inspire you and architects and build your outfits off of that. And I know for sure there's people on TikTok that do that. I'll just have to go find them. But like those color combinations, the structures and stuff like that can definitely be pulled into clothing, I think.
Really? I've never thought of that.
That's super interesting. Yeah. I like that though.
Like, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, what building do I address, like, you know?
Yeah, or even, like, a poster. You can be like, why is this poster so appealing? And you're like, okay, well, all these colors I could wear together.
Yeah. I like that. That's cute. I got told I dress like a cartoon character. Like, because I feel like I keep everything simple. Like, I really don't.
Oh, I see. So you could be animated easily.
Yes. Like, I feel like I just wear, like...
That's actually kind of spot on.
Jeans, t-shirt. It's just basic. I really don't venture out.
I don't know. I think
either.
Well, we can fix this off air, ladies.
Let's do it.
Have you ever been to Plato's Closet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I actually have 2 bags of stuff I need to sell because I've
good luck. They don't take anything.
No. And they like treat you so terribly too. They're like, I'll give you $5 to get the hell out of here right now. Like, these boots cost me $200. Like, sorry for you.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, it's not in style. And then you look on the racks.
Yes.
It's like, but you took all of this.
Yes.
But they do sometimes have a deal where it's like, whatever you can fit into one bag, it's $20. I'm like, that's
not bad.
I'll go there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never shopped at Plato's Closet, but yeah, I've sold stuff before. Mostly jeans that I've like grown out of because I'm like, you can't. Jeans are quality. Everyone will always accept jeans.
I feel like on 13th Street, I have these little. I love romance novels. I know people don't, but like I grew up reading them, and I walked down. I was like, I'm doing like a collab with a couple. There's like 20 female-owned businesses on the spot, so you can be like, what would it be like to be like a woman who owns like a plant shop? What would it be like a woman who owns a gift store? What would it be to? And there's 2 women who run a thrift stop right across from Tiny House. So maybe you guys should stop in there because it's called 1404 Vintage, and you can also apply to put clothes in there. So you can. They work on commission, so it's like several different vendors, and they kind of curate a bunch of cool stuff. So maybe like if you're tired of digging through those thrift stores, that might be a more refined way to go through it.
I would check that out. Okay. I would check that out. I went to it's called Great Plains Vintage in Old Market, and it was one of those places where everything was great. Like everything was cute. They had awesome crew necks and stuff. And then it was just like stuff that like even if it had a stain on it, it was still like marked up like $50, $60 for a crew neck.
Ew. No, I'm sorry.
No, I hate that. And I'm like, it's like, I don't know. It's like that it's trendy and of course it's appealing to the youths, but it's like, even if something has a stain on it, not even discounting it and like upcharging so much. It's annoying.
I'm surprised that they would take it with a stain.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the one thing I cannot do stains.
Yeah.
On like clothes or carpet, so I could not.
I feel like I show up here with stains all the time.
She has stains right here.
I know. And these are clean. I just washed these. I literally like I will stain. I don't even know why I'm wearing a white shirt right now. I stain a lot of my clothes. And I know I look gross, but it's just
maybe a dry cleaning job is in your future.
Wait, we have to tell Megan what we did last week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
work.
She might already have an inkling of what happened because I did tell.
Oh, okay.
But we dug through the deep closets at her dad.
We volunteered. I kind of volunteered her actually.
Yes,
because I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it alone. So I was like, yeah, you have to come in.
You're okay.
Sorry, work bestie. Yeah. This is our problem now.
I wore my best moving sweatpants.
And it was also like 50 degrees that day.
It was super nice out.
The job description was, we need help carrying stuff to the dumpster.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what that meant. I thought it was just like computer monitors. And then we get the rundown. And
it was literally like, honestly, she was just like, there's beer in here that is expired and needs to be thrown out.
Mm-hmm. Unopened. Perfectly fine.
I mean, how many, I can't even, there were like so many like 12 packs of Bud Light back there. I mean, there were 12
Did
packs.
You guys throw them away?
Yes. Most of them.
There was also like White Claws, seltzers. And hard mics, which we did set aside
for ourselves. I still have mine downstairs.
I'm not a beer drinker.
But we let some rage out and we smashed the bottles into the dumpster.
That is weirdly fun. Did you have fun?
Yes, we really did. I didn't know the power of it. So like we definitely had some ricocheted out. But it was so fun.
It was really fun. It was chaotic. And also I was just like, this is such a random job. And also like, why is there so much beer back here? It was beer that had been sitting there for a year.
And it probably would have been
wild.
Yeah.
I would have just given it away like at that time. But I'm sure you're just like, we can't just give them.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you had like a party, that would have been perfect.
Yes.
Because no one cares if it's a year old.
No.
But we found popsicles in the freezer.
See, they should have just done her dad, get your game together.
Yes.
Because you could have done an employee appreciation party.
For real.
And nobody would have known that this was all expired shit from your closet.
What's crazy is if you go in the fridge in the break rooms up here,
there's more
beer. It's all. I've never seen a single lunch pail in that fridge. It's just beer.
I mean, there's less cool places to work. I mean, there's places to work where they're like fighting over who stole my burrito. Like putting like locks on their creamer.
Oh my god, yeah. None of that here. Just a lot of, which in that fridge it's a lot of craft beer. I've noticed. Tippy cup, but I don't know.
Anyways, that was our big exciting day.
We found this in there.
I mean, all things to consider, this seems like a pretty cool job.
Yeah,
it
is. Yeah, this is cool. It's fun.
I think that if I had pie in the sky, like I would really, I know everyone says this, but like waking up, doing a podcast, and then that podcast is so popular that you get to go on tour, like that's the dream.
That would be so cool.
I keep trying to manifest this and I don't know how.
It would be so cool.
It would be like pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you need right, all the stars to align. But that's definitely, I've put that on the top of my.
I mean, you can start here.
It's true. Yeah.
Here we go.
I just need but that's a cool job. And then like you just have one like or two really rich clients a year and you design their homes. And then the rest of the time.
You're just out at the lake.
Yeah.
With your dog.
The joy of doing nothing.
Yeah.
There's like maybe that you were she said that you might have been at the lake when she texted you this morning. So I was like, oh, that'd be great if she just streamed in from a dock or something.
I do go to the lake of the river quite a bit.
I was like, there's either she's home or she's with Ned down by the waters.
Can I tell you something? We will get back to work, but
yeah.
I'll just tell you something briefly. So every morning, Ned, we do morning belly scritches. It's a very important part of the routine. He comes up and we scritch the belly, and then I listen to like a guided meditation, and he'll sit there with me. And today's guided meditation ended with like the om, you know, like the sound where it's like you do the om.
Yeah.
And Ned did the om. He did it, dude. He like leaned back and he was like, I was like, oh, it's happening.
It's working.
You guided Ned.
I did. I was like, holy shit, man, it's funny.
I'm assuming Ned is a dog.
Ned is a dog.
Okay.
And
what, like big?
He's a like 55-pound mixed breed from the pound, and he's like legit one of the smartest dogs I've ever had. I've had dogs my whole life, but like, I don't know. I think he can talk. I think he's one of those dogs that could talk if he had the right.
When I was in psychosis, I was convinced that he was going to talk to me.
That's true.
And I don't know if you were gone or where you were, but it was just me and Ned in the backyard. And I just remember being like, telling Ned, please don't talk to me right now. Like, I can't handle that if you start talking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I also was calling her dog Med because I thought her dog's name was Med. Yeah. And I was convinced. And I got into arguments. I got in a fight with Lauren about it.
He came to work with me during the pandemic because Tiny House we celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and then we had to close for indoor guests. And then when we could reopen, like, the service industry is historically uninsured. And I was like, I'm not going to let these people in here when I don't know if our staff will get, you may be fine. You might like lose a lung or worse, you know? So we had the drive through. And so we could keep going with not having guests indoors. But the benefit was then I could bring Ned to work every single day.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I used to do before work is I would spritz on perfume, and he would like smell it, like, and he'd run to his basket and get his collar that has his bow tie on it. And get ready to go to work. And I don't know if that, like, it's
really cute
and then also depressing that he's like, time to clock in.
I like that it's one that has a bow tie.
And he like wore that bow tie out, and then a friend randomly gifted me a bow tie like 2 weeks ago for Christmas, and it's the same bow tie, the same gray stripes that he was wearing to the pandemic. I'm like, oh no, time to punch back in, buddy.
That's really.
But you conditioned him.
Yeah,
trained.
So cute.
Trained.
And the way he looks at me like I am an absolute whore when I spray on the perfume at night, and he knows like I'm not taking him, he'll be like,
you're leaving.
Like, I'm sorry, Ned.
Are you going to take Ned to see Santa?
No, I didn't know. Does Santa take dogs?
I went to my local pet store.
Oh, cute.
And they had Santa there.
Really?
Yeah.
That is very cute.
And I took David the cat to go see. And he's our Christmas card.
Cute.
So, yeah.
I love that.
David the cat. I'm sorry, that was funny.
That sounds adorable. I just sent a bunch of my friends like who are not feeling the Christmas spirit. I like sent them little Christmas like bow ties for their dogs and like bandanas.
That's cute.
So they're all going to be hitting today.
Beautiful. I love that. Bring back Christmas cards. I feel like I got no Christmas cards this year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want to send some. Oh, God. Sorry. That. Do you see that?
Okay. Well, I did have a game.
Oh.
And I don't know how fun it's going to be.
Let's try
but
it.
Let's
it's
explore.
Like basically celebrity before they were famous. So I have a few weird jobs and see if you can guess the celebrities. You'll have options. But first one, lion tamer. Was it Christopher Walken, John Travolta, or Ernie Hudson?
I only know two of those people. But I feel like it was Christopher Walken.
I have to say Christopher Walken just because if there's a world in which Christopher Walken was a lion tamer, I want to be in it.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He worked in a touring circus as a kid. And
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and so I guess his job
Straight
was
up.
he would do tricks with the lion at the end of like the main act. So
That's
Straight
really
up lion tamer.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Isn't that crazy?
I love that.
Okay, next one is a hairdresser. So was it Kevin Hart, Danny DeVito, or Stanley Tucci?
Stanley. I'm going with Stanley Tucci.
I don't think I know who he is, but I don't.
You would
think
know
it's-
him if you saw him.
I would. Okay. All right, I second that.
No, it was Danny DeVito.
Danny
Really?
DeVito.
Yes.
Gosh.
He worked at his sister's beauty parlor,
That's so.
and
wow.
he did it for like 6 months. Isn't that weird?
That is
I could
weird.
see that. I could see him playing a hairdresser.
I could as well. Like that would make a good movie. I think
He would need a step stool.
He would. Yeah.
But he's
It's like I only do the kids' hair.
a pediatric.
Yeah. Calling it a pediatric hairdresser.
Okay, firefighter. We have Paul Rudd, Steve Buscemi, or Colin Jost.
I actually know this one. It's Steve Buscemi.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
You would know. Okay, he's in like Grown Ups and Fargo.
Okay.
Have you seen Hubie Halloween?
I haven't yet. I was supposed
Oh
to.
my gosh,
I
you
know.
loser.
I
Look him
know.
up for you.
He's the werewolf in Hubie Halloween. So
Okay.
when you watch it, he like has one of these
He's
faces.
like in
that's-
all of Adam Sandler's movies.
Yeah, but he
Oh, I know exactly who that is. Yeah.
is like making the list of people to kill. I think in in Billy Madison when he like knocks and apologizes and he's like wearing lipstick.
There's also the one in Grown Ups when they're at the pool, and he goes on the zip line upside down. Do you remember?
It's been a
haven't
while
seen
since
Grown
I've
Ups.
seen
Okay.
those movies.
Okay.
I hate how bad my memory. I will watch a movie and then I won't remember.
I feel like Grown Ups is always on TV.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I watch it. Okay. Next one, National Security Agency person. Leslie Jones, Wanda Sykes, or Bill Murray.
Leslie Jones.
I also want to say Leslie Jones.
It was Wanda Sykes.
So
But I know Leslie Jones worked at some like Scientology thing
Stop.
before she was
Really?
famous. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Like as like a
And Wanda Sykes gives that. I
Yeah.
almost thought it was too obvious of a choice.
Right? But I guess her job there was shopping for office furniture and Intel equipment. So for that
interior design. Megan.
place.
For the government. For the government. You know that budget's a sky high, bro. Like you go over budget, you're like, put it in the black box with that $1 trillion that went missing in Iraq.
Okay, I have one more. Massage therapist. Was it Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, or Nicole Kidman?
See it being Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
Yeah.
gosh,
Okay.
yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently she started when her mom had breast cancer, so she would help her mom through radiation. And then she liked it so much that she kept doing it.
Wow, that's a nice origin story for her.
Yeah, it's so interesting to think that, like, I don't know, when I think of actors, I'm like, this is all that they've done.
I know.
That's all that they want. Yeah. So to think that they've like had these
Actual
jobs, yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, I was just reading something that like, so we see like Rihanna and Beyonce and Taylor Swift as singers and not billionaires. Like they're people who are like successfully because they got their job, like their job made them famous. Like we don't hate them like we hate Bezos or whoever,
yes.
Zuckerberg.
That's true.
So,
Get a likable career.
yeah.
Make as much money as you want.
I mean, there's still time if any of us want to be actors.
There
We're
is.
still so young.
There is.
I don't think I'm particularly good at acting, and I'm pretty sure I just lost the one.
Oh my gosh! Please, can we talk about it? Please.
Yeah, so I very briefly had a stint as the spokesperson for 42 Degrees, which is like they haven't like openly fired me yet, but Yeah, I did like 3 commercials in a row. They randomly saw me from like a stand-up thing, and they were like, "We'd love you to be the spokesperson for this commercial." But I would say, like, I'm one of these. There's a lot of stand-ups who are like, "I just want to get into movies," you know, and I that is not my goal. Like, I would be totally happy doing stand-up, you know. Anyway, I got into it, and I was just like, "This is." They kept like, so their tagline is like, "Buy your mom's house," and like they kept trying to get me to. First of all. Okay. It's just like, you know, kind of like a bag of chips. It's just like a punchline that has been done to death. And so it was like so hard for me. And I just like my personality that I give on stage is not like, "Hi, like welcome to the backline and like buy your mom's house." And, like, I couldn't do it. And they kept being like bigger, like, but bigger. And I was just like, this is like as big as it goes. And so I did 3, and the guy who owns the place, like, they didn't contact me again after that. And I just texted him the other day because I was doing my invoice, and I was like, "Is this over?" And he's like, "No, I don't think so. They don't know what they want to do." But, like, the owner did keep saying, "She's not animated enough. She just doesn't say buy her mom."
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
I want here's my where I'm getting so I want it to end just so that you can make a bit out of it because that's really funny. But also me and Lauren were at a bar, like this dive bar that have the TVs on, and we look up and it's just Megan on the TV.
So funny.
And then it's like there was the scene just like cut, like Megan's wearing a normal outfit, and then like the scene cuts and she's wearing like a 42 degrees t-shirt, and they're all standing around her. I need to show you the commercial.
Oh my gosh. Well, and they were like, initially, I don't know, I had like the guy who's producing it is pretty chill, and he's written a horror movie, which I was very interested in. That got made. And I kind of thought there would be more opportunities for humor, but it was just sort of like 40% off Kratom CBD, like, which is just not my vibe. So I think it's okay when a job's not a fit. I've had a lot of jobs that were not a fit.
I do think you'd make a great actress like in a comedy movie. I'd watch that.
Well, thank you. I don't know that that's true, but I appreciate the confidence.
I feel like you would be like the friend in a movie that's like just witty advice, like you know what I'm saying. That, you know what, like just has those quips, like those like I don't know. But
well, my going rate is very low apparently. Like when I did primarily social work, I was like, I have standards. And then I was like, $250? Yes. That's the answer.
Would you do anything with kids?
Like
whether like childcare or like, I don't know, acting?
With a child.
Even though you're not an actor.
Like act with children or take
like
care?
Like teach them.
Oh, no.
Like theater kids? Okay.
No. I do like teaching, but I've always worked in adult education. So like I've did like one-on-one teaching someone to read. I've done like adult literacy for finances. I've done special ed for adults. And I actually like children quite a bit. Like children love me because they know I kind of like, I don't spoil them. And so they're like kind of fascinated with me because I'm just like, what is, sir?
You don't kiss up.
Sir. Yeah. Get it together. But yeah, I've never particularly worked or wanted to work with children, and I've heard acting with children is sort of a bear.
Yeah. I just think about that one. It was, what's that guy's name? John Stamos from Full House. Like when he was first working with like the twins, he like hated them. Yeah. I was like, geez, they're babies.
I've said this about Jocelyn, but I feel like it'd be fun to run a daycare with her because I think she'd just be so funny. And I feel the same way about you. I'm like, honestly, because I feel like, you know, you like don't kiss up to them or anything. You don't baby them. You like tell it to them straight, like, hey, knock it off.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not the type to be like to like really yell at a kid. Like if I like whenever I've nannied, like I've done nanny jobs, and whenever the kid's acting up, I'm just like I talk to them like an adult. I'm like, are you serious, right? Like, I can't, I just say, like, I can't do this right now. Like, I'm very honest. I'm never going to be like, stop. Like, I'll never talk through I can't talk to a kid like that.
Also, the people who talk to dogs like that. It's just the same thing. It's like, there's like,
I do baby talk dogs. I can't help it.
No, but I mean, I wouldn't be like, there's people who get so mad at kids, at dogs, you know what I mean? And they're just like screaming. Like, I just like nothing really, if you have real problems in your life, like that's not that kids can't get under your skin.
Yes.
But I don't know. I never like, I'm like, I would more be like, we need some alone time. You need some alone time. We need to wind down.
And anytime like I've ever raised my voice, it's been like there's a threat of danger. Like the kid I was nannying, like one time, like I let him out of the car. He like ran into the middle of the road. I was like, Titus, like, I like yelled at him to get back. But I'm like, I could just never, no matter what. I don't know. Maybe that I haven't been pushed to like the very edge with the child.
I will say that like having a 24-hour care for a child, I do think it could definitely push you to some.
So, yeah.
There was someone who just got busted. These two, this is not funny, but they were had a childcare fight club, and they were like picking kids and they've both been arrested. And like when I looked at the duo, I was like, I gotta see the faces of these ladies. And it was like an older grandma type, and then like maybe a 25-year-old woman who didn't look super remorseful in their pictures, but that doesn't mean anything. But I was just like,
they're like, how long can you get away with this?
I know. And like, what was the pairing process like?
There was a comic, I think, who I don't remember. It had to have been local, where they were like, instead of Fight Club, I want to do Height Club, where they pair them up based on height instead of. I feel like there's a comic making that joke.
Oh, I'm sure.
I probably butchered the hell out of it, but that would be a funny way to pair up kids. Or like, I don't know, instigating beef between children is also funny.
Yeah. to the point of physical violence.
Yeah. Go push his face in the sand.
You want recess or not?
That is wrong, and people shouldn't do that, but I'm sure it was entertaining.
I babysat a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Enough to be like, this is
not it.
I don't know. It's a lot of, it's so much work.
It's cosplaying as a single mom.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was nannying. Yeah. Oh, it kind of felt fun. Like I loved I did like it. I like nannying one-on-one with a child because you just can give them attention. 2 kids is like, but I worked in a daycare for 1 day and then I quit because it was 3 to 5 year olds. And there were so many of them, and I'm sorry to brag, kids do love me. They do. And it was a lot at once. It's too much love.
I have 2 things to say about that. I got fired from a long-term babysitting job that I had because I had acne, and they were dermatologists, and I went through their cupboards and stole a bunch of little like acne cream samples. But like where I was, you guys, was so deep in this woman's cupboards. It was like under the sink in a second organizer, and they had like hundreds of samples though, but like. And so then when she went to pay me, I reached into my pocket, and like it was like something out of a movie scene. Like I reached in my pocket and pulled it out, and these little samples went everywhere, all over the carpet. And it was just like clear from her face that she knew what I had done and how far into her cabinets in her main room, like underneath them, I had been. And then I was never invited back, and I'd probably babysat on and off for them for like 7 years.
That's crazy.
Really funny, mate.
And so awkward.
So awkward. I was just like, I still think,
but at the same time, like, why didn't they be like, oh, you just need
us?
Like, or no, like, oh, you're having problems with acne?
Yeah.
Oh, we're dermatologists. Let's help.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a understandable. I mean, nobody loves a stealing snooper, but like, what do you think your babysitter's doing?
Yeah. And it's
if that's the worst thing that you did.
True. That was the worst. And I was just trying to solve my own problem. We didn't have dermatology money.
Yeah,
okay?
Literally. I feel like in that situation, I just would have been like, well, let's set you an appointment. It's on the house.
I did have a job that I only worked for 1 day. So like in the suite of like caring jobs that I did, which I feel like are often like assigned to women, I signed up for this elderly care job, and I went to this woman's house, and I was just supposed to hang out with her that day. And she had lived in a neighborhood, and she was like, the neighborhood had deteriorated around her. So when I got there, she just started telling me about how shitty the neighborhood was. And this is true. like she had figured out that they had a woman chained to a radiator in the meth house next door to her because she could like hear her crying.
Oh my God.
And that after that, like these gang members turned against her. And I'm talking like a 90-year-old woman who's living in this house. And then she like went to the backyard to show me where her garden used to be, because she said she went out there one day to check on her vegetables and there was a man with a grocery bag just like packing up stuff.
Grocery shopping.
And she was like, get out of here. And he's like, literally, what are you going to do about it? Because she was old. You know what she did about it? She let her garden die and never grew another vegetable again. And then in this tour of horrors, she takes me into her bedroom and she shows me that she's like, but I got a strategy. And she like shows me, lifts up her pillow and there's a hammer under there. I was like, we watched Price is Right and she got her wheels on meals and I stuck the day out, but I was like, this is too psychologically intense.
Megan, this entire podcast, I've never been able to predict the next word that's going to come out of your mouth.
I'm telling you, when you're like, work history, I was like, whoa.
This is fun.
Oh, God, that was so insane.
Oh, that can't be comfortable. I mean, I guess if you have a thick pillow, I feel like I'd hit myself with it.
Also, I just find it so funny that, like, someone's stealing your vegetables and your response is like, I'm going to quit this thing. It's so much joy. I'm going to salt the earth.
No, but like a hammer, that means you got to be strong if you're going to use it.
Yeah, that's
fast.
a lot of force.
Yeah.
God, no.
It's so intense.
Also I don't know. I mean, maybe I would have
that's
like mace under my pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, someone comes in here, they're going to hammer to the skull.
I was expecting like a pistol. I thought that's what you were going to say.
B-22.
I was surprised myself, ladies.
That's really funny.
Well, Megan, I'm glad that you were able to come.
Thank you.
I was going to start with this, but I wanted to say that you are honestly one of my favorite guests that Jocelyn has had on. And I've noticed that I like your female guests a lot more.
Hey, I do too.
I'm just saying.
But there's not a lot of women in comedy.
But that's okay. No, but like when I met you at that one show, it was like the one we told the bird.
Oh, the story.
Yes.
I was so nervous to talk to you. I don't know why. Really? Because when I think people are cool, I get very shy and I can't talk. And so when she told me that you were coming this morning, I was like, oh my God. I was like, you or like Rachel Ware, like the strawberry shortcake voice actor, like I would have gotten like so nervous if I had a plan for this ahead of time.
Oh, so it was just sprung on you.
Yeah.
And that was well, I just knew. And also Megan, you're one of my favorite storytellers and I can listen to you. Like literally it's just, I could listen to you tell stories all day. So I felt like also this was bound to happen at some point.
Absolutely.
Because and I am gonna go back and take notes, and I want to hear a lot of this stuff in your set because
I suppose I should. I mean, I talk about being like a labor organizer, which is an insane job that I had for a long time, which is talk about minimum rage. I mean, but yeah, I thank you so much for having me. Thank you for thinking of me. I love the idea of the podcast, and like, please don't ever be intimidated. We are all huge losers.
Yeah, we're not.
And then we can all go shopping.
Yes. Like really, if you sent me like, hey, these are the looks I'm looking for, like I will, it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I actually have to go to the thrift store today because I have to buy glasses for tiny house, martini glasses for Christmas.
Perfect.
Okay, there it is.
I feel like you're so cute. You would have
thank
almost
you.
Anything would work on you.
Yes.
Like truly.
Like the thing is though, since I'm little, I don't like wearing baggy clothes because it makes me look even smaller.
Me and
so that's my issue. Like I can't find pants that fit me unless I get them hemmed.
Oh.
Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll talk about that later.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah. I wish you guys the best of luck. This is going to be a great show for you.
I think so.
Yeah.